अगर आपने इसके खाली सॉन्ग्स देख के आपको ऐसा लगा होगा कि ये मूवी खाली रोमांटिक है या फिर देर आर अ लॉट ऑफ किसिंग सीन्स एंड देर आर अ लॉट ऑफ जस्ट क्लिक बेट, देन दिस मूवी इज a total masterpiece as far as story is considered. Shakun Batra, hats off. Welcome back to channel Praising absolutely fine. So I just started the movie a little bit late. It is almost 2:45 now, and what an amazing 2.5 hours. It will make you wonder how things really are, and if you hide something or if you keep piling up a lot of things inside, it could go to an altogether next level. And ऐसी ही एक ये फिल्म जो गहराइयाँ है, and Deepika Padukone, Siddhant, Chaturvedi, Ananya Panday, as well as Dhairya, all four of them have done an amazing job. So पहले I am thinking of just telling out the story because it is on directly Amazon Prime, and बहुत लोगों के पास शायद से नहीं होगा इसका direct access. So before I start with the actual storytelling part and what exactly like generally होता है film में, I'll give you a kind of a spoiler free review first. So this film is like all about family. It is about emotions. It is about past. uh, अगर आप बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें हाइड करके रखोगे, अगर आप बहुत चीज़ें छुपाओगे, तो इवेंचुअली वो पाइल अप होके बहुत अलग टर्न्स ले सकती है, एंड ऐसी चीज़ें आप एक्सपेक्ट भी नहीं करोगे जो आपके साथ हो सकती है. इस तरीके की एक मूवी है. आपने खाली एक सॉन्ग्स देखे होंगे, उसमें खाली फोकस किया था सिद्धांत एंड दीपिका की जो रिलेशनशिप है उसके बीच में. बहुत ज़्यादा लाइक किसिंग सीन्स और बहुत ज़्यादा रोमांटिक सीन्स दिखाए गए थे, तो उससे बहुत लोगों को ये लगा था ये फिल्म खाली रोमांटिक एंगल होगा इस फिल्म को. But no, it is altogetherly a different thing. Shakun Batra, the way he has kind of told, and अगर आपने बहुत सारे के interviews भी देखे होंगे, तो he has kind of inspired this movie based on a lot of English films which are just kind of on the surface, but the नाम भी उसने उसी तरीके से रखा है कि गहराइयाँ. Like on the surface things are very cool, but as we go more into the relationships, they are much more darker. So, and he has directly spoken in the interviews that he just tries to he just likes to mess things around. He just likes to mess all the storylines. Like अगर कोई अच्छी खासी romantic film है, फिर अच्छी खासी story चलती होगी, so he has directly spoken in a lot of interviews that he just wants to mess that thing up and create a lot of mess, because that is what his mindset was with respect to this specific movie. And I was really surprised that, because even ट्रेलर देख के या फिर सारे सॉन्ग्स के प्रोमोज देख के इवन सबको ये लगा होगा कि दीपिका ने ऐसी कोई मूवी चूज क्यों की होगी. एंड ये आपको मूवी देखने के बाद ही पता चलेगा, या फिर आपको जो स्टोरी सुनने के बाद ही पता चलेगा. आई रियली लव दीपिका एंड द वे शी हैज एक्टेड. It is one of her amazing roles. And like as I said, it is not at all अगर आपने खाली इसकी ट्रेलर या फिर इसके सॉन्ग्स या फिर इसके सारे प्रमोशंस को लेके अपना एक ऑलरेडी माइंडसेट बना लिया होगा, then this movie story will definitely like change that mindset, because all in all it is very different. And at the end it will kind of make you surprised. It will make you a little bit sad. It will not make you cry, but it will give you a very different perspective with respect to all everything which kind of has happened, and the way that things should be dealt and the way that things have not kind of dealt with these specific characters. They are super messed up. So all in all, I will rate somewhere around 4 stars. 1 star less because I kind of thought that 2.5 hours is quite enough actually, but they have kind of paced up a little bit. Like अराउंड 45 टू 1 आवर के बीच में फिल्म बहुत ज़्यादा स्लो हो जाती है. एंड ऑन टॉप ऑफ दैट सारे कैरेक्टर्स जो है थोड़ी लाइक सिनेमाटोग्राफी वाइज इट इज़ सुपर सुपर अमेजिंग, एक्टिंग वाइज इट इज़ सुपर सुपर अमेजिंग. द हार्ट एंड सोल जो एक हर एक मूवी का हार्ट एंड सोल जो होता है वो उसकी एक स्टोरी होती है जिसके ऊपर सारा बिल्डअप क्रिएट किया जा सकता है. एंड दैट इज सुपर सुपर ऑसम. एक्टिंग वाइज ऑल ऑफ देम हैव डन an amazing job. And it is like a proven fact that whenever Deepika cries, be it that moment when she cried in Kabira, or when that moment even when she cried in Tamasha, it was like watching Deepika cry, like what just watching Deepika cry kind of makes you sad. And she has done an amazing job while acting her role in this movie. Just the one little bit part I thought which was kind of slow is that one thing, and another part which was I kind of hoping that, because when the talks of this movie kind of began, when the rumors and when the photos were kind of leaked, where when they were kind of shooting near Gateway or near the south town side, I was kind of hoping that would they take a little bit consideration about COVID or anything else, because that was I know it is a fictional film, ये पूरा fiction and it is an imaginary story, but सब कुछ normal दिखा गया है. So अगर खाली एक like half star, I'll give it less because it was slightly slow, and half star like I was somehow expecting that they could take a real time like real time connection, like थोड़ा थोड़ा भी reference होता, या फिर थोड़ा भी वो लोग ने ऐसा कुछ बता दिया होता कि इट इज़ काइंड ऑफ स्लाइटली इन द फ्यूचर वेयर द पैंडेमिक इज़ नॉट देयर, तो थोड़ा बहुत लोग ज़्यादा इससे रिलेट कर पाते. बट any which ways, the story is not about what's happening in the world. It is entirely about what's happening inside their heads and inside their hearts and souls and in their lives and everything that they have kind of piled up for so many years. And this is all what I can say without giving out any spoilers. So now this is it for the entire spoiler-free review. I don't think I should give out the story because it is very different, or I might just say it in very short. It is already a 7 minute video. So now if you just want to watch it, it is right away streaming on Amazon Prime. You can right away go ahead and watch it. And now if you don't want to watch it, if you just want to listen the story, I'll just give you a very quick recap about what happens. So there are four characters. There's Alisha, who's played by Deepika. There is Ananya. The name of the Ananya's character is Tia. Siddhant is playing Zain, and the last character, which is Dhairya's character, he is Karan. And Tia, Karan, and Alisha have kind of grown up since their childhood. And Tia's mom and like they are kind of cousins, and both of them are sisters. And Zain kind of meets Tia when they are kind of outside. When he was outside in US, and they are kind of engaged. But based on the stories, based on the trailer, we kind of thought that Deepika is married, but she's not. She's just they are just in a relationship, and all in all, it starts very slow. The way it starts, it just goes in a way that they are kind of just planning a weekend, because Tia is back in Mumbai from LA, and they are just kind of trying to figure out. So base story पे तो ऐसा ही set कर दिया गया format कि दोनों की जो relationships है, like be it Siddhant and Ananya, or be it Deepika and Dhairya, both of them are not kind of happy. They are having their own problems, and when they go out on a holiday, they kind of bond together because they kind of feel left out. So वहाँ से उनकी love story start हो जाती है. And कैरेक्टर वाइज अगर बात करने गए तो धैर्य का जो कैरेक्टर, ही इज़ अ काइंड ऑफ अ राइटर हु इज ट्राइंग टू पब्लिश अ बुक, बट वो करते करते ही इज़ ऑल्सो इन रिलेशनशिप विद दीपिका, सो इज़ नॉट एबल टू सपोर्ट हर फाइनेंशियली. एट द सेम टाइम दीपिका इज़ काइंड ऑफ ट्राइंग टू मेक अ लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट्स टू काइंड ऑफ मेंटेन द रिलेशनशिप, बट वो अकेली उतना ज़्यादा भी नहीं कर पाती. सो शी काइंड ऑफ जस्ट गेट्स फ्रस्ट्रेटेड एंड शी जस्ट कीप्स रिमेंबरिंग हर मॉम, बिकॉज उसकी मॉम ने उसकी मॉम ने, वो जब बहुत छोटी थी, उसकी मॉम ने सुसाइड कर दिया होता है, which was again a kind of a factor which जो हमें स्टोरी के द्वारा बताया जाता होता है कि like this is the main thing which is kind of affecting Deepika's character. And उसके बाद we get to know Ananya and Siddhant as a couple, like they would be probably marrying further, but she is a big shot, she has a lot of money, and her dad is eventually dead as well. She just has a mom who is abroad, and Zain is kind of also trying to help her. He has already met her father before, because of which he became big shot, and he has a lot of money. He's kind of a contractor, and he is trying to invest over a lot of places. At the same time, Deepika's character has kind of shown as a yoga instructor. At the same time, she's trying to develop a kind of an app which would help to build up a good exercising app, or try to invent something, or try to help something related to exercising. And Zain kind of then invests into her app. At the same time, Zain is also trying to cheat. Obviously, they are cheating on both of their partners, but at the very end, when there is Alisha's birthday, Alisha, who is Deepika's birthday, they go to their Alibag's home. And also another thing about this movie is that how amazing it looks to just watch them traveling on the gateway, or traveling them at the Taj, and then they directly go on Alibag by directly hiring a kind of a private yacht, and then he kind of proposes, Dhairya proposes to Alisha, and she just not agrees to it because she doesn't want to get stuck because of her mom. Because जो पिक्चर स्टार्ट इस तरीके से होती है कि हर मॉम दे आर जस्ट काइंड ऑफ मूविंग प्लेसेस एंड हर मॉम इज़ नॉट हैप्पी, सो उसके माइंड में ये लाइक ये इमेज रहती है उसके डैड के बारे में, लाइक जो सुसाइड उसके मॉम ने किया होता है, दैट इज़ बिकॉज शी वॉज काइंड ऑफ स्टक इन टू अ रिलेशनशिप विद हर डैड, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट प्रोबेबली उसकी मॉम ने सुसाइड कर दिया. And that kind of just keeps coming back to her mind, because she doesn't want to get stuck with somebody who she's not sure with, because at that time she is also having an affair with Siddhant or Zain, or and she is still in a relationship with Dhairya, so she just kind of denies that engagement and go back and meet her father, who is played by Naseeruddin Shah. First, I thought, and there is another amazing character which is Jitesh, which is played by the amazing Rajat Kapoor. I still, whenever I see him, I just kind of feel sad about his death in Kapoor and Sons. I don't know why, because that was super unexpected, and we really felt sad. But on coming back to this movie, his character in the beginning, both of their characters have no role in the first half, but they eventually turn out to be the most the kind of a story changing characters. This is what I liked about the entire plot, that I had even made a note somewhere that both of these characters, casting so many like casting such a big stars for these small characters, are they even are they even doing justice to them? But yeah, they have an amazing role, which I tell ahead. And then when we just come back to Zane's character, he is just entirely messed up since his childhood. He had a lot of trauma. He just left his mom and dad. His mom and dad had kind of a lot of like discrepancies in their marriages, and he even called police to help his mom, because his dad used to just hit her. But she just said no, that's not true. And at that time, he just kind of made a decision that if his mom doesn't want to, like, if anybody doesn't require help, he would not help, and he just kind of leaves the house, and he just runs away and just builds his life on his own, apparently. And since that moment, he has and when he again goes back, like when he goes to study there, he goes to study to the US, he meets Tia, and they kind of get to know each other. And he has been this guy who has he's kind of street smart. उसको उसके तरीके पता है किस तरीके से he can get good things out of good people, and he has been cheating on Tia with Alisha, for example, and he could do that to Tia anytime, and he probably is behind Tia for her money, we can say. And Ananya kind of shines out in this movie, I must say. Her character, but we kind of keep pitting for her. हमें उसकी बहुत दया आती है इस मूवी पे, which she has done an amazing job. I can definitely say she has kind of little bit shined out in this movie, because her character had that kind of exposure. And उसके बाद हमें बहुत बड़ी चीज़ समझ में आती है कि apparently Deepika is pregnant with Siddhant's kid, and that goes super haywire. As a matter of fact, we don't even get to know the clarity about the very end, but we get to know that in the very end, like she just kind of not goes ahead with that child, which is at the very end of the story. But in this hassle, our minds are kind of being played with the narrative which is being set, because we are still in the zone. We are worrying about what would happen to Deepika and Siddhant. At the same time, he has this pile up of the financial crisis where he keeps taking loans, he keeps doing investments, but there is no kind of benefit for him, and that kind of literally piles up. At the same time, his relationship with Deepika, Ananya has a lot of doubts about it. She even tries to confront him, checks his phone, and like he just plays the reverse mentality that there is nothing, you are making me feel guilty, and the pills he's been taking for anxiety, and he just kind of tries to do the reverse psychology thing, and it kind of works for him as well. And talking about Dhairya kind of goes missing in the second half, because the Picard kind of dumps him, and we are just now in the narrative of Deepika, Siddhant, and Ananya, where the triangle, it is super messy, it is super complicated, and then they finally, it gets so much complicated that Deepika and Siddhant go out on a yacht. On a yacht, I don't know why I keep saying yacht, but I'm sorry. It is pronounced as yacht. I know that. And then this kind of incident happens between them, where he says that everything is gonna be fine. He's gonna tell Ananya that what was happening. He has been having this kind of thing with Deepika, and he's gonna make things right. But he was obviously lying. And when she kind of sees his laptop and his conversation with Jitesh, she directly gets to know that he's just fooling around and just lying the whole time. And from Siddhant's perspective, when they get at the very edge of the yacht, they kind of had that. Kind of a fight, and that was the super OMG moment, that they just kind of he kind of tries to even kill her, because she now knows she was just dialing Tia's number, and Tia was calling back, so he just gets freaked out, and they just kind of had this fight. And in that thing, he kind of slips over that bottle, and he just falls off in the ocean. And that at that time, Deepika, instead of, like, obviously she would not take him in the yacht again, because he was kind of trying to kill her, so she will obviously save her life, and she just takes that yacht and goes towards her home. She just heads back home, and on the next day we just find out that Siddharth is dead. They have kind of found out his body at some beach, and they call all of them to like check whether to identify whose exact body that is, and we even see his face. So unfortunately, Siddhant is dead now. So now we have a different narrative, where it is now just Ananya and Deepika. And at that stage, Jitesh plays a very important role, because he knows that he needs to save his own company, which was with Siddhant. Now he himself is dead, and he kind of knows about what was happening between Siddhant and Deepika. So he just kind of directly confronts Deepika that he knows that what's been happening, and if she doesn't goes and gives him the paper of that house which they had kind of kept mortgage, which was under Tia's name, which they had kind of blackmailed her out of, and she just does that out of fear, and he saves his company, and he saves Deepika as well. So he just tells that the house which was just kept as a part of a mortgage, Siddhant had never kind of told him. He obviously lies about that, and he just tells Tia that that house is kind of sold, so his company is saved, and Deepika is also kind of safe. And Tia again breaks out, and she is just more and more sad about Siddhant's death. But at the same time, even Rajat's character, who is Jitesh, his company is also kind of saved. And then we get to see a very different moment, which nobody would expect out of nowhere. That Tia goes and confronts Deepika something. She just says that I want to talk to you about something. And at that point, obviously, we would know that she would what we would expect is that वो शायद उसे वो बता देगी कि उसे उस पे डाउट था, and she was kind of checking his phones, and she kind of knew about both of them. But out of nowhere, she tells that she is his half sister, who would imagine that, right? Deepika's mother and Tia's and Alia's father were kind of having an affair, and she is his real daughter. And even that house, which they kind of sold, that was under Deepika's name. She just kind of she went ahead and sold her own house, which and in her will, Ananya kind of tells him that he should just kind of take Deepika's name off, because she is not now his daughter. It should only be under Ananya's name. And um, and and, and all this kind of happening amidst when everyone is mourning about Siddharth being died. Siddharth being dead, and this comes out of nowhere. So the first thing which crosses her mind is, throughout her life, the narrative which has kind of set, it is because she has just hated her father, who's played by Nasiruddin Shah amazingly well, and he just hated her entire life because she was under the impression that her mom had committed suicide because her father was not doing well to her. But it is entirely different. It is because of her uncle. Technically, she committed suicide, and it was super messy. And she just directly goes home and she just talks to her. She talks to Nasaruddin, and he just asks her, like, why didn't you tell me for so many years? And वो उसको खाली वही रिप्लाई कर देता है कि लाइक अगर पहले बता देता तो इतने साल की जो लाइक उसके वो, बिकॉज वो बहुत छोटी रहती है जब उसकी मॉम ने उसका सुसाइड किया रहता है, और उसके जो मेमोरीज रहते हैं भी बहुत कम रहते हैं उसकी मॉम के साथ। तो अगर वो उसे ये भी बता देते तो उसकी मॉम के बारे में उसकी पूरी इमेज ही खराब हो जाती। तो इसलिए उसकी ज़िंदगी भर वो उसका हेट सह लेते हैं, बट उसे वो सच्चाई बताते नहीं है। It was super touching moment, and it kind of felt really sad for both of them. And there we actually get to know that both the characters, which is Jitesh and her father, who are amazingly played by Rajat and Nasruddin, like, yeah, they were the most suitable person for both of these roles. And then finally we just get to see a kind of a 2 years later scene where there is Ananya, there is Deepika, there is Dhairya, and then we kind of get to see that he is marrying to somebody else, because the book thing was definitely a big flop. So he just went back to his original company, and he just made amends with them, and there he met a girl who he fell in love with, and they were kind of getting married. And at that time, we just get to see that they kind of try to make amends, Ananya and Deepika, that because they are kind of Ananya just says that they are kind of stuck in a loop, and just like their parents, they could just move on the past, like just get clean with everyone, because she's still not knowing about what has happened between Siddhant. She's still not aware about the affair. And when they were kind of alone in a yacht, so on that yacht, again sorry. So when there was a time that they need to rescue an old couple, and Siddhant kind of lies that Deepika was his fiance to that old couple. And at the very end of the movie, when Dhairya is getting engaged or married, that old woman meets Deepika, and she just asks her, I think we have met. And that is when the story kind of ends on this cliffhanger, and which is one of the classic end like one of the classic ways of ending a movie on a cliffhanger. It is like to us to now contemplate that whether what exactly would happen in the situation, because she tells this to Deepika, and this is when it ends at the same time when Ananya was in front of her. So would there be another part? Would there be something else? I don't think so there will be another part, but the way it has kind of ended, there could be multiple outcomes of it. Like whether Deepika would just lie that like no, they have never met. You are just old lady and you are forgetting persons and you're forgetting faces, or would she just accept that she was with Siddhant, and then she would tell Ananya the truth? So this was one of the very different part of ending the movie in a kind of a very cliffhangerish note, which is amazing about Shakun. And hats off for this amazing screenplay, amazing writing, and all in all, this is it for the entire storytelling I've done. This for the first time. It is almost a 24 minutes episode. So if you're still watching until here, please subscribe to my channel in order to support me, and do check out this film. It is super amazing. Even if you have now listened to the story, but if you're watching, you would really get to see how deep it is and how amazing it is. So thank you so much for watching until here. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed it yet. I'll meet you in the next video.